Hello, everyone. Tonight we gather under the soft canopy of impermanence, a falling leaf drifting silently through the stillness of twilight. It does not resist the wind. It does not question why it must fall. It simply lets go. You are here now, perhaps at the end of a long day. Your mind may still be carrying small worries, tasks left unfinished, or quiet echoes of conversation. All of it is all right. You don't need to push anything away. Just listen. So before you get too comfortable, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And while you're at it, feel free to share where you're watching from and what time it is where you are. Now turn off the lights, maybe turn on a fan for some gentle noise, and let's embark on tonight's journey together. There's something quietly profound about watching a leaf fall. It does not hurry. It does not cling to the branch. It accepts its moment, drifts with the breeze, and joins the earth without regret. You too are allowed to soften. You too can let go gently, not with force. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath deepen slowly. And in your mind's eye, imagine that single golden leaf making its descent through a forest heavy with dusk. The air cool, the light dim, the trees tall and still. No urgency, just the leaf and the letting go. Impermanence is not a tragedy, it is a rhythm. Nothing lasts, and because nothing lasts, we are invited to cherish each breath. You don't need to hold this moment. It's already enough to feel it. Maybe today was difficult, or maybe it was joyful. Either way, it's slipping into memory now. You cannot hold on to it forever. And that's not a loss, it's a kindness. Even the best days must fade so new ones can rise. Even the hardest nights pass so peace can return. Let this falling leaf be the first teaching tonight, the first breath of softness that whispers to your soul. You do not need to fight the night. You do not need to fear the letting go. Think about a memory from years ago, how sharp it once was, how vivid. And now it may feel like a distant echo, still part of you but no longer loud. This is how all things move, from loud to quiet, from sharp to soft, from leaf to earth. The Buddha once taught that clinging is the cause of suffering, but you don't need to take that as a command. Just feel how it feels when you try to grip something tightly. Your breath shortens, your heart strains. Now feel what happens when you exhale, release, allow. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. You are not the falling leaf. You are the breeze that carries it. You are the forest that watches. You are the earth that receives. And perhaps most beautifully, you are the silence that surrounds it all. So tonight, let yourself be held by the silence, not a hollow emptiness, but a fullness that does not need words. Let your breath deepen into the silence. Let your thoughts be like clouds, passing but not staying. You might feel some tension in your body. That's okay. Bring your awareness to one part at a time. Maybe your hands, your jaw, your belly. Let them soften. Like the leaf, you don't need to control your descent into stillness. Nothing will be forced tonight. We are not here to fix. We are here to feel the gentle truth that everything changes. And in that truth we rest. Remember, impermanence is not your enemy. It is your quiet companion. It takes nothing from you that wasn't already moving on. And it brings you the gift of presence, of now. If tears come, let them. If sleep comes, welcome it. If thoughts rise, let them pass. The forest does not argue with the wind. The leaf does not resist its fall. And you are allowed to just be. Soften now. Breathe. Feel the weight of the day slowly loosen, like a robe slipping off your shoulders, like a leaf letting go. You're safe here. You're exactly where you need to be. Everything is enough for tonight, and this too will pass. The stars have shifted again above you, not that you would notice at a glance. The change is slow, so gentle it escapes our senses, but the sky is never still, and neither are you. We often forget that everything we see is in motion. The tree you passed this morning, it grew while you weren't looking. The breath you're taking now, it wasn't there a moment ago. It arrived, and it will go. This is the nature of all things. They arise, they abide for a time, and then they pass. You might not see the change right away, like the tide receding grain by grain, but impermanence is always present. And when we recognize it, not just in thought, but in the quiet of our being, we begin to relax. There's a story from long ago of a woman who came to the Buddha weeping. Her child had passed. Her heart was broken. She begged the Buddha to bring her son back. He did not scold her. He did not explain suffering with cold logic. Instead, he told her, "Bring me a mustard seed from any home that has not known death." She searched. Door to door she asked, but every family had known loss. Every home had seen sorrow. By the end of the day, she understood suffering touches every life. But within that realization, she also found peace, not because her grief vanished, but because she was no longer alone in it. Impermanence connects us. It makes us human. It teaches us to soften not just toward ourselves, but toward others. You may have moments you wish would last forever, but even the sweetest song fades. Even the warmest tea goes cold. And yet, we still listen to music. We still drink tea. Because beauty was never about permanence. It was always about presence, just like this moment. You are here. You are breathing, and that's enough. Feel the breath again. Not the idea of breathing, but the sensation. Cool air in, warm air out. It rises, then falls, just like the stars, just like everything. You don't need to hold this breath forever. You only need to receive it for now. That's the secret hidden in impermanence. Because things do not last, we can love them deeply. We can appreciate them fully because we know they are passing. Your thoughts may be wandering again. That's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. The mind, too, is impermanent. It moves like the wind, sometimes soft, sometimes swirling. But the wind is not your enemy. It only becomes loud when we try to stop it. Let the mind pass through like air through an open window. You don't have to close it. Just sit nearby, breathing quietly. And when the thoughts come again, you might say, "Thank you for visiting." You may go now. That is peace. Not the absence of thought, but the freedom not to be held by it. Now imagine a quiet path beneath your feet. Perhaps in a forest or a small temple garden, each step soft, each breath slow. The moon is above you. The earth is beneath you. You are held between the two, just as you are, without needing to change. Everything here is changing, but you are still safe. Sometimes we confuse impermanence with instability. We think, if things change, then I can't trust anything. But the truth is, impermanence is the only thing we can trust, because it's always true. It never lies. It never surprises. Everything will change. Everything will pass. And in that passing, you can rest. There's no pressure to make this moment perfect. You don't have to capture it. You only need to be in it. The stars keep moving even while you sleep. The breath keeps rising even while you let go. So let's sit together in this rhythm. Let's rest in the arms of change. There is no need to fix anything tonight. You don't need to figure life out right now. Instead, you might say to yourself, this too is changing, and I am okay. Again, just listen to the breath. Feel the quiet weight of your body, the warmth of your skin, the gentle rhythm of your chest. Everything is enough. You are enough, right now. As the stars shift silently, you don't need to chase anything. You are exactly where you're meant to be. The universe is still here, and you are part of its movement. Let that bring you peace. A quiet knowing peace that nothing lasts. And that is perfectly okay. Sometimes we live as though we can build something permanent. As though if we try hard enough, plan carefully enough, love deeply enough, maybe this time it will last. A relationship, a home, a version of yourself. You pour your heart into it, and for a while it feels steady, real. But then one morning, a crack appears. A moment changes, the tide shifts, and something begins to dissolve. It's like building a house of sand by the sea. You shape each wall with care, smooth each edge with hope. But even as you sculpt, the tide is already moving in. Not to punish you, not to destroy what you love, but simply because that is what the sea does. You might feel sadness when the waves come. You might feel frustration. But over time, with soft eyes, you begin to see that even the crumbling has its own quiet grace. Nothing we build on the outside or the inside will last forever. Not our identities, not our dreams, not even the version of peace we think we need. And that's all right. There's a kind of peace that doesn't depend on what stands. It only depends on how gently you let it fall. Think of a child building a sandcastle. They smile as they place the final shell. They admire it. Then when the wave arrives, they run forward, laughing, watching it disappear with wonder. Somewhere along the way, we forget how to let go like that. We forget that we can love something deeply and still let it go. That we can build and not be broken when it dissolves. Tonight, I invite you to return to that softness, that freedom. The kind that watches the house of sand return to the sea, not with despair, but with quiet awe. In Buddhist teachings, this is the heart of wisdom, to see the nature of all conditioned things. They arise, they pass away. They do not belong to us. They were never meant to. When we grasp too tightly to people, to titles, to outcomes, we suffer. But when we can see that all things are like sand in the palm, meant to be held lightly, then we stop fearing the wave. You don't need to push the tide back. You don't need to protect the structure. Just sit with the breath. Feel how it enters and then leaves. Just like all things. Just like all forms. You might recall a time in your life when you lost something you loved. And for a while, it felt like everything crumbled. But did you notice? Eventually, the grief softened. Eventually, you breathed again. The sand returned to the sea, and your heart, it learned something. Not just about pain, but about resilience, about tenderness. The Buddha once said, all conditioned phenomena are like a dream, an illusion, a bubble, a shadow like dew, or a flash of lightning. Thus should we see them. That's not meant to make life feel empty. It's meant to make life precious. Because you know nothing will stay, you learn to see what's here more clearly, to taste the tea more fully, to hold a hand more gently, to breathe with less fear. So tonight, if anything in your life feels like it's falling apart, remember the house of sand. It wasn't wrong to build it. It was beautiful while it stood. And now, as it dissolves, so does the need to hold so tightly. You're not failing by letting go. You're waking up. Close your eyes again if you haven't already. Feel the breath. It doesn't stay. It doesn't need to. You don't need to hold it. Just allow it to pass. And with it, allow the old thoughts to pass. The expectations. The regrets. The what ifs. Tonight is not for problem solving. It's not for fixing your life. It's for resting in the gentle truth. All things change. And in that, you can relax. Let the castle fall. Let the tide come. Let your hands open. What stays is deeper. Not the form, but the presence. Not the shape, but the stillness beneath. As you lie there, softening, loosening your grip, you may notice a quiet arising. Not fear, not loss, but peace. The kind that stays even when the structure doesn't. The kind that watches, smiles, and bows to the tide. Because peace doesn't resist. It welcomes. And you are learning to welcome too. There is a kind of peace that does not need to hold on. It doesn't rely on a plan, or a perfect day, or the right words from someone else. It's quieter than that, softer. It is the peace that arises when we stop grasping, when we stop needing things to stay. Most of us carry so much without noticing. A look from someone that hurt, a conversation we wish had gone differently, an image of the future we're trying so hard to make real. And we hold on tightly, as if holding tighter will make things stay. But peace doesn't grow in tight fists. It grows in open hands. Sometimes we confuse peace with control. We think that if we can control our surroundings, our feelings, our outcomes, then we'll finally feel safe. But true peace doesn't come from control. It comes from trust, from releasing, from allowing life to be exactly as it is without needing to change it in this moment. Imagine you are sitting by a still lake. No wind, no ripples. Just reflection. Now imagine that you try to hold the surface still with your hands. You reach out. You stir the water. The reflection is broken. But when you sit back and let it be, the water calms itself. The image returns. That is your mind. That is your heart. When you try to force it, it stirs. When you let it be, it finds its own peace. You don't need to reach for anything right now. There is nothing missing in this breath. No part of this moment that needs to be fixed. The Buddha once taught that when the mind lets go of craving, peace naturally arises. It's not something you create, it's something that's revealed. You don't have to add anything. You don't have to change who you are. You only need to stop holding so tightly. Try it now. Notice where your body is holding. Your shoulders, your jaw, your belly. And now, let go just a little. Feel the release. Feel the small space you create inside. That's where peace enters. It's okay if your thoughts wander. Even the sky has clouds. Even the ocean has waves. You're not failing, you're just noticing. Bring your attention back to the breath, not with force, but like returning home. Peace is not far. It's beneath all the noise. It's beneath the grasping. It's in the stillness you keep returning to. You might remember something that once upset you deeply, something you couldn't stop thinking about, but now it barely touches you. That's the beauty of impermanence. It washes over everything, and in time, even your tightest fears soften. So tonight, ask yourself quietly, what am I holding on to? And not to judge, just to notice. Maybe you're holding on to an image of how things should be, or an identity that no longer fits, or a wound that keeps you from softening. You don't have to let go all at once. You just have to loosen your grip. Imagine you're holding sand. At first, it feels like you need to squeeze it to keep it from falling. But when you open your hand, you see that it was already slipping through. Let it fall. Let it become what it was always meant to be, part of the earth again. You are not less for letting go. You are freer. Peace does not mean that life is perfect. It means you are no longer at war with it. So tonight, put down your weapons. Put down the weight. Put down the idea that you must fix or figure out everything before sleep. Just be here, with me, with your breath, with this moment. Feel the rise and fall. Feel the gentle rhythm. Feel that even your breath lets go every time. You inhale, you receive, you exhale, you release. This is the rhythm of peace. And the more you trust it, the more it meets you. Soften your body now. Rest deeper. Feel the quiet that's starting to expand around you, like a warm blanket, like night slowly settling over a meadow. Let it cover you. Let it hold you. You don't have to do anything now. Just let things be. Just be still. And in that stillness, notice peace doesn't need to hold on. Peace is what arrives when you let go. Some things, when they break, make a sound. A plate shatters. A door slams. A voice cracks in grief. But some things break silently, like the hairline crack in your favorite cup. You might not notice it at first. You pour tea, hold it warm in your hands, and then one day it leaks. It doesn't hold like it used to, and your heart feels a small ache, not because of the cup, but because of what it meant. The moments it held, the quiet mornings, the conversations, the comfort. You see, impermanence doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it comes with a whisper, a shift, a knowing. Something you love no longer holds the way it once did. But broken does not mean worthless. Cracked does not mean ruined. In Japan, there is an art called Kintsugi, the practice of repairing broken pottery with gold. Not to hide the cracks, but to honor them, to make them beautiful, to show that something broken can still hold, that it can even be more beautiful for having been broken. You too are like that cup. You've held many things, some joy, some sorrow, some days when your spirit felt full, some nights when you leaked slowly quietly and no one knew. But you're still here, still holding, maybe with a few cracks, maybe with a softness that came from being broken once or many times. That's not something to hide. That's something to bless. Peace doesn't come from being flawless. It comes from accepting that you were never meant to be. You were meant to be real, to feel, to break, and to be whole again, just in a different way. So tonight, as you rest, you might think of something in you that once cracked, something that once couldn't hold the weight it carried. And instead of hiding it, you can bow to it. Say quietly, "Thank you for what you taught me. Thank you for showing me where to be gentle. Thank you for becoming part of my gold." The Buddha taught that suffering is not the end. It is the beginning of wisdom. When we see clearly that everything we love can be lost, we begin to love differently, more deeply, more presently, with less fear. That is the invitation of impermanence, not to despair, but to be awake. You do not need to pretend you're not tired, or that you're not healing, or that the cup you are still perfectly holds all things. You can rest. You can let what leaks leak. You can let what broke be honored. You are not less because you have known sorrow. You are not less because your joy was once interrupted. You are perhaps even more human, even more able to sit quietly now and know peace. The crack in your heart lets the light in. Let it shine tonight. Not as something loud, not as something showy, but like the faint shimmer of gold along an old seam in a well-loved cup. You don't need to speak. Just breathe. Let the warmth of that image settle into your bones. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not a mistake. You are the quiet beauty of a life that is lived and still lives. Let the breath move slowly now, in and out. Let the body soften further, like wet clay, not to reshape, just to rest. If any sorrow arises, you can welcome it like an old friend. Not to fix it, but to listen. Sometimes just the act of listening is the repair. Sometimes peace is not about stopping the pain. It's about seeing that even the pain is part of something sacred, part of your wholeness, part of your human path. So breathe gently with all your cracks and all your light. Tonight, nothing needs to be fixed, only honored. Let the gold glisten in your memory. Let your story shimmer just a little brighter for everything it has held. Even the most cherished things break. What matters is the heart that holds them. Above the clouds, the sky never moves. No matter how the weather shifts below thunder, rain, wind, even snow, the sky remains untroubled. You might not always see it, but it's always there, open, vast, unharmed. The Buddha once compared the mind to that sky. Our thoughts, emotions, and experiences, they are the clouds. They come and go, sometimes thick, sometimes light. But beneath them, unchanging, is a deep stillness. You may not feel that tonight. Your mind might be racing, carrying fragments of the day or fragments of the past. But even if your thoughts are like storms, the sky within you is still untouched. It waits, patiently, without judgment, for you to remember. Just as the clouds do not stain the sky, your passing moods do not define you. Let's sit together with that image. A wide sky. Soft clouds drifting across, some bright, some gray, some heavy with rain, others so thin they barely leave a trace. And you are not the clouds. You are the space they pass through. When your thoughts feel too loud, when your heart feels tight, you can return to that sky, not to escape, but to remember you are more than this moment. You are the one who watches. There's a gentle freedom in this knowing that you don't have to chase every thought. You don't have to believe every feeling. You can let them come. Let them stay for a while, and then let them pass. Just like clouds. That's not indifference. It's wisdom. It's care without clinging. It's presence without possession. You might bring to mind a worry that's visited you lately. Feel how it tries to take up space, how it fills your inner sky. Now breathe. Let the chest rise and fall. Watch it. Don't push it away. Don't analyze. Just let it be a cloud. Say gently, you're allowed to be here, and you're allowed to leave. In this way, peace grows, not by eliminating thoughts, but by not being held hostage by them. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It's the clarity that sees through movement, and that clarity is already in you. You may feel distant from it, but it is never left, just like the sky. Some nights, the clouds are thick. Some nights, the rain is loud. But even then, the sky waits quietly. You might be remembering something painful. You might feel overwhelmed. That's okay. Let the clouds pass. Sit gently with yourself, as the Buddha once sat beneath the Bodhi tree, not forcing stillness, but allowing truth to unfold on its own. Peace does not rush. It does not arrive with force. It simply comes when you stop stirring the sky. Take another breath now. Feel the way it rises, then falls. Like wind through the upper air. You don't need to stop anything. You only need to observe. Sometimes you may feel like you're drowning in the clouds. but they are only mist. They cannot drown the sky. And the same is true for your thoughts, your fears, your regrets. They may seem heavy, but they are not permanent, and they are not you. You are the watcher, the open space, the wide, deep, quiet sky. Let that be your resting place tonight. Let your body be heavy against the bed. Let your face soften. Let your breath be enough. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are simply covered for now by a passing storm. And like all things, this too will pass. Let the clouds move. Let the stars appear again. Let the moon rise through the night. Not because you made it happen, but because that is what happens when you do not interfere. The sky does not hold on, and neither must you. Soften now. Trust now. Rest now. The sky remains, and so do you. The breath is always here. It doesn't ask for anything. It doesn't judge. It doesn't demand. It simply arrives and leaves again and again. If you do nothing else tonight, let this be enough to breathe with what's here. You don't have to name your feelings. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to wrap words around your experience. Just breathe and let whatever is within you be present. There is a quiet miracle in every breath. It carries life, and it teaches impermanence. Each inhale, new. Each exhale, released. Never the same breath twice. Never the same moment twice. The Buddha often returned to this awareness of the breath as the path home, not as a complicated technique, not as a task to accomplish, but as a gentle anchor, a reminder that this moment, just as it is already complete. So tonight, breathe with me, nothing forced, just as you are. In, softly, slowly, and out, long, quiet. Feel how the breath touches the body, how the air cools, the nose lifts, the chest settles the belly. This is where your peace begins, not in thought, not in escape, but in presence. Let your attention rest on the breath like a feather resting on still water. No pressure, no weight, just contact. You might notice the mind wandering again. That's okay. The mind is like a bird. It flies. Just keep opening the window. Let it come. Let it go. What matters is not how often it wanders, but how gently you invite it back. Breathe again. This one, not the last, not the next. Just this breath. And with it, breathe in a sense of allowing, of permission. You don't need to earn this peace. You don't need to deserve it. It is already here. Sometimes you may feel unsettled and think you must search far for answers, but your breath is already with you, always waiting, always steady, even when nothing else is. Feel the simplicity of this. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to perform peace. You are allowed to simply sit here and receive it. Even the Buddha, on the night of his awakening, did not battle with the world. He sat. He breathed. He observed. Through stillness, through staying present, he saw the truth of things. You are not expected to awaken tonight. You are simply invited to rest in the same kindness, to return to the body, to the breath, to now. You might place a hand over your chest, feel the warmth there. That is you, still here, still breathing, still capable of resting deeply. Let the day fall away, like clothes slipping off tired shoulders. Let your thoughts, your concerns, dissolve into the breath. You can pick them up again tomorrow, or not. You'll know when the time is right. But for now, let them be. Let your breath carry you, like a boat across still waters, like a cradle in gentle motion. Nothing is required of you. You don't need to be better. You don't need to be different. You are already enough because you are breathing. If tears come, they are part of the breath too. If silence comes, honor it like a temple bell. Just breathe. with what's here, with what you are, not needing to understand, not needing to change. Just this, just now. This is where peace lives. Moments come like petals. Soft, delicate, each one unique. They drift into your awareness, then fall away quietly without asking to stay. You might not even notice them. A memory, a scent, a flicker of feeling behind your chest, a passing thought that arrives without words, and then it's gone. Like the gentle fall of a blossom in spring. This is the true rhythm of life. Not dramatic, not loud, but quiet, constant unfolding. The Buddha once reminded his disciples, all compounded things are of a nature to decay, not to create sorrow, but to help us see clearly, to help us understand that nothing, no experience, no identity, no moment lasts forever. And when we truly see this, something unexpected arises: gratitude. Because if nothing stays, then everything is precious. Even this breath, even this moment of listening, even your gentle settling in for the night. You don't need to hold on. You only need to receive. Think about the petals. They don't cling to the tree. They don't fear the fall. They don't question the wind. They open. They offer their color, their fragrance, their softness, and then they let go. Can you imagine your thoughts like this? Your memories, even your worries. Each one, a petal. It arrives. It floats. It lands. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to pluck it out of the air. Just watch. Let your awareness soften. Let your breath be the breeze. Maybe today it held a difficult emotion. Anger, perhaps. Or longing. Or something you couldn't quite name. Don't push it away. Just notice how it moves through you. How it blooms, then fades. Every feeling follows this pattern, just as every flower must someday fall. Even joy, even sorrow, even love. But that doesn't make them less beautiful. In fact, it is their passing that makes them shine. You might recall a moment of peace in your life, a place, a time, a feeling. Hold it gently now, not to freeze it, but to honor it. Like a pressed flower in an old book, smile to it, and then let it go. Let it become another petal softly falling behind you in the garden of memory. This is how peace grows, not by holding every moment, but by witnessing its grace as it moves through. The mind often wants to capture things, to turn petals into stones, to make the fleeting permanent. But what if the real beauty is in the falling, in the impermanence itself? What if peace is simply the practice of watching, softening, accepting? Let your breath rise now and imagine each inhale as the tree blooming. Let it fall and feel each exhale as the petal drifting away. Nothing lost, nothing wasted, only movement, only presence. You are not here to hold the whole tree, only to witness this one falling petal, this one moment, this one breath. Let the rest go. Maybe your body is feeling heavier now. That is good. That is softness arriving. Let it sink. Let the covers cradle you. Let the earth beneath support you fully. You do not need to do anything else. You are already part of the rhythm, already part of the letting go. Each thought, each memory, each moment a petal. Watch them fall. Bless them as they pass. Smile and be still. Because peace doesn't come from holding. It comes from the silent, sacred act of watching things pass and knowing that what is true will always remain in the stillness. A temple bell rings in the distance. The sound travels far, carried by wind slipping between trees, settling in the folds of evening. You don't see the bell. You don't need to. What lingers is not the strike, but the silence it leaves behind. There is a kind of peace that hides not in the sound itself, but in the stillness between. It's easy to fill our lives with noise. Even the mind becomes a bell that never stops ringing, endless reminders, unfinished thoughts, soft echoes of old memories. But have you noticed the moment after the bell? When the sound dissolves and something wide opens, that is where stillness lives. Tonight, as you rest, you're invited into that space. The pause after the moment, the breath between thoughts, the calm beneath sound. You don't need to reach for it. It's already here. Listen closely to your breath. Not just the sound of it, but the space between. The slight stillness before the next inhale. The quiet that holds the rhythm together. Like music, it's not the notes alone, but the pause that gives it shape. You are not here to chase silence. You are here to settle into it. It may feel unfamiliar at first, like standing in a room where no one speaks. But slowly, you'll begin to hear the subtler things, the whisper of your heartbeat, the weight of your body relaxing, the earth receiving you. Silence is not empty. It's full of rest, full of peace, full of life not trying to perform. The Buddha often sat in silence, not because he lacked words, but because some truths cannot be spoken. They must be felt, received, lived, and so can you tonight. Let your thoughts settle like dust in a sunbeam. Let your body soften like grass after rain. There's no need to push anything away. Only allow the noise to fade on its own, like a bell's echo disappearing into the mountains. Imagine that now you're in a small temple tucked in the hills. The incense curls upward. A monk bows, strikes the bell, and the sound rolls through you like a wave. Then comes the silence. Long, gentle, welcoming. This silence is not an absence. It is a return to the space where peace is not something you earn, but something you remember. In the silence between bells, you are not required to be anything. Not wise, not calm, not fixed. Only present, only listening. You might notice tension still hiding somewhere. That's okay. You don't have to force it to leave. Just breathe into it. Let it soften over time. The bell doesn't ask the mountain to echo. It simply sounds, and the mountain responds. In the same way you can be here, not performing stillness, but allowing it. Let each breath be a bell. Let each exhale be its fading ring. Let the silence in between guide you deeper. And if thoughts come, let them rise and fall like mist in morning light. You don't have to do anything about them. Just notice and return again and again to the quiet after the sound. That's where the deepest rest lives. That's where the heart remembers its home. So tonight, let the noise recede. Let the mind ring, once then soften. Let your being expand into the hush between. Because peace is not always something we create. Sometimes it's what returns when everything else fades. Just like the silence after the bell. There's a gentle truth. We so often resist what cannot follow us into what is becoming, and yet we try. We carry conversations long after they've ended. Replay memories like old tapes. Hold images of who we were or who we thought we should become. And in doing so, we miss what's here. Tonight, you are invited to release. Not to forget, not to abandon, but to let what is past rest in its place. We cannot carry yesterday into tomorrow. It was never meant to stay. The mind, however, is like a traveler. It gathers souvenirs, keeps tokens from old places. Sometimes those keepsakes feel like comfort. Sometimes they become a burden. It's okay to acknowledge both. Let us begin with the breath. This inhale right now. Feel it rise in your chest. Hold it for a moment. And exhale. Let it go. Again and again. Each breath teaches this letting go. It doesn't hold on to what has already passed, nor does it chase the next moment. It simply moves with ease, with trust. That's the rhythm your heart longs to remember. You might think of something you've been carrying, a word left unsaid, a decision you regret, a hope that did not unfold the way you wished. Let it come to mind softly. No need to judge it. No need to explain. Just see it, feel it, and breathe. Then gently begin to imagine it resting, not erased, but no longer in your hands. It becomes a stone placed on the riverbank. It becomes a letter, folded and tucked away. You are not forgetting. You are simply allowing it to belong to the past. The Buddha taught that attachment to the past is a form of suffering, but he did not ask us to repress or deny. He asked us to see clearly, to recognize that what is gone cannot be revived, and in doing so, to find freedom in the present. So often we ask, what if I had done something differently? But that question is a road with no end. Tonight, you do not need to walk it. Tonight, you can sit down beside it and simply rest. Let yourself be where your body is. Not back there, not ahead, but right here. With this soft breath, with this still body, with this quiet room. You might feel waves of resistance. That's natural. Part of letting go is grief. Even for the things that no longer serve us, it's okay to feel that. It's part of being alive, part of having loved, tried, hoped. But you are not those old shapes. You are not the story frozen in yesterday. You are here, new, still unfolding. Let that thought settle. Let it comfort you. As you lie still, imagine placing your past in a small wooden box. Gently, with care, place the box on a boat. Let it drift down a quiet river. Watch it move away, not in sadness, but in blessing. Whisper softly, "Thank you for what you were. Now I release you." That is not abandonment. That is love. The kind of love that understands the seasons. The kind of love that knows when to hold and when to bow. Tonight is your invitation to bow, to honor what was, to open to what is. Feel the breath again, rising like a tide, falling like dusk. This is your rhythm now. You do not need to carry what was. It has shaped you. And now you are free to simply rest. Let your heart return to silence. Let your mind soften its grip. There's nothing more to prove, nothing more to hold. Just this moment, just this breath, just this peaceful release. You cannot carry yesterday into tomorrow, but you can carry peace. There is a quiet wisdom in the way rain falls. It doesn't rush. It doesn't hesitate. It simply descends, drop by drop, returning to the earth that always waited. Each droplet is whole. Each one softens something dry. Each one disappears as soon as it touches down. And yet it gives life. Tonight you are like the rain. Your breath, your presence, your being, gently arriving softly, releasing, nourishing what lies beneath. You don't need to try to be anything more. Just be here, like the rain that knows how to fall. The Buddha once said, "Just as rain falls equally on all things, so too does the Dharma nourish all beings, regardless of who they are, regardless of what they've done." You are not outside this blessing. You don't need to earn this peace. It is already falling upon you even now. Let your breath be the falling rain. Let each inhale bring clarity. Let each exhale bring release. No sound, no struggle. Only this natural rhythm. Imagine now that you're sitting beneath a wooden eave, watching the rain fall onto a garden. It taps on the leaves, dances in puddles, runs in gentle rivulets down the path. You don't try to change it. You just listen. You feel your body settle, shoulders drop jaw, unclench his eyes close. That's what rain does. It reminds us that we don't have to rush. You might have felt hurried today, or heavy, or like you were carrying something that doesn't belong to you. Let the rain take it now. Let the steady sound of its falling wash through your thoughts. You do not need to explain your sadness. You do not need to name your longing. Just let it be bathed, like a branch that bends under the weight of a drop, then rises again. Even your sorrow knows how to fall. Even your joy knows how to move on. Impermanence isn't just about endings. It's about return. The leaf falls but becomes soil. The breath leaves, but another follows. You let go, but something softer enters in its place. So tonight, let the rain inside you fall. Let it find the hidden corners, the forgotten aches, the old thoughts curled like dry leaves, not to drown them, but to soften them, to nourish the roots beneath. Maybe there's a memory you've avoided, something fragile, something painful. You don't need to relive it. Only let it feel the rain. Say softly, "It's okay. You can rest now." There is a wisdom deeper than words, a wisdom that comes when we stop trying to stay dry, when we allow ourselves to be touched by the world as it truly is, raw, gentle, ever-changing. This is the peace of being part of everything, not resisting, not controlling, just returning. Return now to your breath, to your body gently cradled, to this room, this moment, this rain. You are not separate. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are water returning to water, and in that you are complete. So breathe. Fall softly into rest, like rain to earth, like peace to the heart. No need to hold. No need to ask why. Just fall, and let yourself be received. Stillness is not the absence of life. It is the quiet mirror that reflects everything. Tonight, you may find that stillness is not so much something you achieve, but something you allow. It's already here, beneath the layers, beneath the movement, like a pond beneath the wind, like a mind beneath its thoughts. You don't have to silence the world to find peace. You only need to notice the space around the noise, the clarity that holds it all. In Buddhist teachings, there's the image of the mirror. It reflects whatever is placed before it, joy, sorrow, beauty, pain, but it remains unchanged. That mirror is your awareness. When you're hurt, it reflects pain. When you're joyful, it reflects light. But in itself, it is calm, unstained, still. Can you feel that within you? Even now, beneath whatever your mind is carrying, there is something watching. It doesn't interfere. It doesn't judge. It just sees. This awareness is not cold. It is gentle, spacious, compassionate. It knows that everything comes and goes. And so, it simply rests. Let yourself rest there too. You might bring to mind a thought that's been circling today. Not to fight it, but to observe it as you would watch a leaf floating across a pond. Just a thought. No more solid than wind. No more lasting than smoke. Let it come. Let it go. And then sit in the stillness that remains. There is such tenderness in that space. The kind that doesn't rush to fix you, that doesn't try to prove anything. It simply says, "I see you. You are already enough." The mirror doesn't try to change what it reflects, nor should you try to force yourself into a shape. Not tonight. You might be tired of striving, tired of becoming, tired of wearing different faces for different moments. In this stillness, You can take them all off. You don't have to be anything here. Not wise, not calm, not even peaceful. Just present. And in that presence, peace arises naturally. The Buddha spoke of a mind like clear water. When we stop stirring it, the sediment settles, and we can see clearly to the bottom. Let your mind settle now. You don't need to empty it. Just stop stirring. With every breath, you settle deeper. With every exhale, you release the need to hold on. This is not escape, it's return. To the simplicity beneath complexity, to the silence beneath speech, to the mirror beneath the dust. The dust is not wrong. It is part of life. But when we stop adding to it, we begin to see the reflection again. So tonight, you might say to yourself, I am here, just as I am. And that is enough. Let those words settle over you like soft cloth. Let your body receive them. Let your breath move gently in and out, not trying to get anywhere. You have arrived in this moment, in this stillness, in this truth. And even if your mind is busy, even if your emotions stir, you can still sit at the center of it all, like the eye of a gentle storm, untouched, aware, kind. That is your true nature. The thoughts will come again. The world will call again. But for now, just rest in this mirror-like stillness, in this clear presence. Nothing to do, nothing to fix. Just reflect, just receive, just be. What if you searched for yourself and found only movement, only breath and sensation and change? This is what the Buddha discovered, that what we call self is not a fixed thing. It's not a solid identity. It's a stream, a current, a process always unfolding, never holding. In the teachings, this is called Anatta non-self. Not a denial of your experience, but a gentle reminder. You are not the story. You are the awareness in which the story is written. Tonight, as your body softens and the world grows quiet, you are invited to gently touch this truth. Notice your breath. It changes. Notice your thoughts. They come and go. Even your feelings rise and fall like tides. Where then is the fixed you? Where is the center that never moves? You may not find it. And in that not finding, you may feel something open, a space, a freedom, a soft letting go of having to be anything. You are not your name. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are the vastness in which these pass. There is a story of a monk who sat by a river for many years. When asked what he learned, he smiled and said, "All things flow." Let that truth ripple through you now. All things flow. All identities, all roles, all masks. You do not need to cling to any of them tonight. Maybe today you are the strong one, or the tired one, or the one who smiled while hurting. But now, you don't need to be anyone. You can simply be. Feel the breath again, in and out. Nothing solid, nothing fixed, just this wave of life. And when the mind tries to define you, I am this kind of person. I always do that. I can never pause and ask gently, who is saying this? Where is the one who never changes? You may find the thought itself has already passed, like a bird crossing the sky, leaving no trace. This isn't a truth to fear. It's one to rest in. Because when you see that nothing is fixed, you no longer need to protect anything. You no longer need to prove anything. You no longer need to become anything. You are free. Free to just be. Free to rest. Free to let go. Let the breath carry that freedom to every part of you. To your heart. To your belly. To your hands. Everything is already allowed. Already enough. You do not need to hold yourself together. You were never separate to begin with. Like a wave in the ocean, you rise. You fall. You return. So tonight return, not to an identity but to presence, not to a role but to rest. You are not a fixed point. You are a mystery, a moment, a miracle moving through time. And in this stillness, that is more than enough. Let go of trying to find yourself and simply feel yourself right here, right now, with no need to define, no need to control. Only this, only now, only breath, only peace. When the flame goes out, what remains? Not the light, not the flickering, but warmth. A gentle, lingering presence, invisible but real. Still held in the air, still felt by the hands. This is how peace often arrives. Not in a blaze, but in the quiet after. In the softness left behind. There is something sacred about endings. The final breath of a candle. The last note of a song. The silence that follows. In Buddhist practice, we are not taught to fear the end, but to bow to it. To understand that endings are not failures. They are transformations. The flame does not disappear. It becomes something else. Warmth, memory, space. Let yourself feel that warmth now. Even if something in you has gone dark. Even if a part of your life feels like it has ended. There is still warmth. Still something left behind. Still a presence that doesn't need to be seen to be true. You might recall a moment in your life that has passed. A time that once glowed brightly, now only memory. Close your eyes and visit it, not to dwell, but to honor. Can you feel the warmth still there? Not as it was, but as it remains. This is the subtle grace of impermanence. It doesn't take everything. It leaves behind what matters. It distills experience into essence. You are the warmth after the flame. You are the silence after the music. You are what remains when everything else fades. There is no need to fear the flicker. No need to panic as things dim. Darkness is not the absence of peace, it is its invitation. It is where the heart stops reaching outward and begins to feel inward. Tonight, let the light dim. Let your senses settle. Let the outer glow fade. And notice what stays. The breath, the awareness, the space within. Not everything needs to stay bright. Not everything needs to continue. Some things shine most clearly only once they've ended. You might imagine a room with a single candle. As it burns down, shadows grow longer. The room becomes quieter. And when the last light vanishes, you notice something deeper. The warmth in your chest, the slowing of time, the settling of mind. Let that be your rest tonight. Do not chase the flame. Do not try to relight the past. Sit with the warmth it left and know it was enough. The Buddha often spoke of impermanence not to alarm, but to awaken. To help us see that what ends makes space for what is more subtle, more lasting, more true. You may not know what's next. You don't have to. You only need to rest in what is. Right now. Right here. The echo after the sound. The warmth after the flame. The peace after letting go. Breathe in. Feel that warmth expand. Breathe out. Let it settle deeper. You are not the flame. You are not the brightness that comes and goes. You are the one who feels, the one who stays, the one who watches. So tonight, let the light go. Let it complete its path. Let it return to stillness. And stay with the warmth that remains. It is enough. You are enough. Even now. Especially now. There's a reason the bamboo bends. Not because it's weak, but because it knows how to stay rooted without resisting the wind. When the storm comes, it does not break. It sways. It moves with the gust's bows to the direction of the moment, then returns upright when the wind is gone. Tonight, you are like that. You may feel winds of change around you, uncertainty loss, questions with no answers, and maybe your instinct is to resist, to hold your ground with tension, to try and outlast the storm by force. But the Dharma gently invites another way, one of surrender, not defeat, of yielding, not collapsing, to bend and to return. You do not lose yourself by softening. You find your deeper strength. The Buddha often taught that the wise person is like the flexible tree able to bend with life, able to rise again. So tonight you can let yourself move, not from panic, but from wisdom. Let the breath be your bamboo. Let it guide you into rhythm. Inhale, a gentle stretch. Exhale, a soft return. You are not required to stay rigid. You are allowed to adapt. You are allowed to feel. There may be emotions tonight that push against your chest like wind fear, sadness, restlessness. Let them come. Let them move through you. Say to them, I will not fight you, but I will not let you uproot me. That is resilience. Not in pretending the storm isn't real, but in knowing you are not the storm. You are the bamboo. You are the earth it grows from. You are the sky it reaches toward. Even now, even here in the quiet of night, you can feel that strength inside. Not in your muscles, not in your control, but in your willingness to yield. Think back to a time in your life when you thought you might break, when everything felt too much, and yet you bent, you adjusted, you healed. Even if imperfectly, you are still here. That's not small. That's not failure. That's the deep grace of flexibility, of trusting that peace doesn't come from pushing back against the wind, but from learning how to move with it. So breathe again. Let your ribs expand with the breath. Let them soften as you exhale. Notice where you're holding tension, your neck, your shoulders, your hands. And now, let them bow gently. Let them remember they are not stone. They are living, and living things can move. Let this whole night be a bow, a humble arc toward healing, toward peace. You don't have to resist what life is asking of you. You only have to listen, to feel, to move in time with your own soul. Like bamboo in the wind, graceful, rooted, free. Let that image stay with you as you drift toward rest. Let it shape the rhythm of your breath. Let it carry you into softness. The wind will pass. The body will return. The earth will hold you. You are safe to bend and strong enough to rise again. There's something quiet and humbling about footprints in freshly fallen snow. Each step leaves a mark clear and soft. But wait long enough, and the wind covers them. The snow settles. The trail fades. Nothing we leave behind stays exactly as we made it. And this is not sorrow, it is beauty. Because it reminds us that we are always moving forward. That we do not need to constantly look back to find meaning. Tonight you can stop retracing your steps. You can let the past be snow-covered, undisturbed. You have walked through much already, with grace, with effort, with quiet strength, even when no one noticed. And now, you are here, not where you began, not where you thought you'd be, but here exactly where you are meant to rest. The Buddha spoke of the path not as a road with milestones, but as a series of moments fully lived. Each step aware. Each step gentle. You do not need to reach a destination tonight. You are not walking toward achievement. You are walking toward peace. And sometimes that means standing still. Let your breath guide you again. Feel your back supported. Feel the heaviness of your legs, the softness of your hands. Everything is grounded. Let go of the impulse to measure your progress. to ask, am I there yet? Have I done enough? You have taken many steps. That is enough. Each one shaped you. Each one brought you to this moment, but you do not need to carry them all. Imagine each footprint behind you. Moments, choices, words, things you wish you could change. Let the snow fall gently over them now. Not to erase, but to cover them in blessing. You are not required to relive what is already past. If there's a moment that rises now, a regret, a memory, a name, hold it lightly. Whisper, thank you for being part of my journey. You may rest now. This is how we honor the path, not by rewriting it, but by bowing to it. The footprints do not need to stay visible. You do not need to look back at each one. Instead, look to your breath, to your body, which has carried you faithfully, to the silence which welcomes you without asking for explanation. The snow continues to fall, and in its softness, you are forgiven. Not because you begged for it, but because forgiveness is part of the natural rhythm. Like snow over tracks, like breath over ache. You might feel a tear rise. Let it. It too is a step, a soft imprint on the path of this night. Then let it fade, like water into snow. You are not required to stay where you were, not in mind, not in memory. Tonight you can rest in the comfort of forgetting, not as denial, but as return. Return to what is here, the warmth of your body, the hush of the room, the gentle presence of now. You do not need to look back. Everything behind you has done its work, and ahead, you will meet it when it comes. For now, breathe, be still. Know that each step you took, every joy, every sorrow is carried within you as understanding. But your feet, your heart, they face forward. Let the footprints fade. Let the snow fall. Let the night be kind. You are not lost. You are simply between steps. And even in stillness, you are moving toward peace. Even the mountain changes. We look at it and think solid, eternal, unmoving. But time knows better. Beneath the surface, the earth shifts. Rain carves its sides. Wind smooths its ridges. Roots reach into its cracks. Snow falls and melts again and again. Slowly, gently, the mountain is sculpted, just like you. Your spirit, too, is shaped in silence, by time, by seasons, by all that life brings. And though on the outside, you may look steady, unchanged, composed inside, you have softened, stretched, weathered. Not all growth is seen. Not all change is dramatic. Some of it happens like the mountain, quietly, invisibly, through presence and patience. Tonight, let that image settle inside you. You do not need to force transformation. You do not need to prove how far you've come. You are already becoming. Simply by breathing, by staying, by listening. The Buddha reminded us that even the subtlest intentions shape the path. A kind word, a single breath of awareness, a quiet choice not to react. All of it matters. All of it leaves an imprint. You may not see the result right away, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. Look again at the mountain. It doesn't rush to change. It doesn't measure itself. It simply endures. And through enduring it, becomes something sacred. Maybe today, you questioned your progress. Maybe you felt stuck or small. But change is not always a leap. Sometimes it's a shift in the heart, a tiny loosening, a breath where there once was tension. Honor those movements tonight. Feel into your body. Where has it softened today? Where has it held a little more gently? Even if you feel tired, even if nothing seems different, trust that the mountain is changing too. You don't have to understand everything you're becoming. You only need to stay close to yourself, close enough to feel the subtle growth, the inner erosion of what no longer serves, the rising of new strength from underneath. Sometimes we long for big moments, but the path is made of small ones. One breath, one choice, one whisper of self-kindness. Let your body be the mountain tonight. Let it rest. Let it be held by gravity. Let the wind of your breath pass over it. Feel your weight as sacred. Feel your stillness as alive. You do not need to climb anything now. You do not need to conquer. You are already part of the earth's unfolding, already part of nature's wisdom. Even the hardest places within you, the oldest habits, the deepest wounds are not fixed. They are shaped day by day by your awareness, by your breath, by your willingness to return. Even the mountain changes. So trust your becoming. Trust your slow, sacred shift. And know peace is not found by racing ahead. It is found in the stillness that notices I am different even now. The bird doesn't fear the branch breaking beneath it, because its trust is not in the branch, but in its own wings. There's a quiet teaching in this image, one that doesn't shout, but settles into your heart slowly. You've lived long enough to know that things give way. Plans fall apart. People leave. Certainties vanish. And each time, there is that pause, that drop in the stomach, as if the ground beneath you is disappearing. But what if the safety was never in the ground? What if your true refuge has always been your wings? The Buddha taught us not to cling to anything that changes. Not because it's bad, but because it cannot hold you forever. The branch may break, but your ability to respond, to breathe through it, to open your heart again, that is your wing. Tonight, if you feel like something in your life is uncertain, if you're waiting for something to hold, something to stay, come back to this truth. Peace does not depend on the branch. It lives in your inner knowing, in your quiet resilience, in your willingness to trust the unseen strength within. So let's sit with that. Close your eyes. Feel the breath in your chest, the gentle expansion, the quiet fall. That is your flight. That is your strength. Always available, always returning. You may remember a time when something you relied on gave way, and for a moment you fell, or thought you did, but somehow you are still here. Not because the world stayed still, but because you adapted. You moved. You reached inside and found something deeper. This is what the path shows us. Not a life free of falling, but a heart that knows how to land. Tonight, you don't need to cling to what's cracking. You don't need to fix the branch. You only need to feel the wind beneath you, the breath that rises, the quiet confidence that says, I've done this before, and I can do it again. Imagine yourself now, perched at the edge of the moment, not with tension, but with readiness. The wind comes, the branch shifts, and instead of fear, you feel wings opening, not to escape, not to run, but to glide gently into what's next. This is not recklessness. This is trust in the Dharma, in the unfolding, in yourself. The world is uncertain, but you are not helpless. You have your breath. You have your presence. You have your stillness. And these are stronger than any branch. So rest here in that quiet power. You don't need to leap tonight, only to remember that you could. That even if things fall apart, you have already learned how to stay whole. Let that settle in your body, in your heart, in the space between breaths. No more grasping, no more fixing, only this knowing. Even if the branch breaks, you will not fall. You will fly. Peace is not the absence of change. It's the gentle trust in its rhythm. So much of our restlessness comes from trying to stop the wheel from turning, to hold still what is always meant to move. But in Buddhist teachings, everything conditioned is in flux, not as punishment, but as natural law. Everything moves, everything shifts, and we can learn to move with it. Tonight, you are invited not to resist the current, but to float with it. Let your thoughts, your memories, your identity even drift gently on the surface of awareness. You do not need to grasp. You do not need to fix. You only need to feel the rhythm beneath it all. A slow unfolding, a quiet turning, like the tide, like breath, like the turning of seasons in the forest. You may be holding on to something without realizing. A hope, a worry, an image of who you were yesterday. Feel into that now. Let your breath shine light upon it. Inhale gently. Exhale slowly. Ask yourself, am I resisting the movement of life? If the answer is yes, be kind. We all do. There is no shame in wanting things to stay. We long for certainty, for grounding, for the comfort of the known. But what if your true grounding was not in control, but in allowing? Imagine a leaf floating downstream. It doesn't resist the current. It follows the river's curve, not knowing where it leads, but trusting it knows the way. That leaf is not powerless. It is surrendered. And surrender in the Dharma is not giving up. It is opening up to life, to now, to change. Can you soften into that tonight? The idea that you don't need to have it all figured out, that you can be in the middle of becoming and still be whole. Let that be your mantra. I don't need to be finished to be at peace. Say it gently to yourself now. Let it echo. You are a process, a river, a breath, a being in motion. And peace is not a destination at the end of movement. It is found within the movement itself. Breathe into that. Feel the body's quiet shifts, the pulse beneath your skin, the rhythm of inhale and exhale. Even as you rest, you are still moving. But it's a soft movement, a sacred one, the kind that doesn't exhaust, but restores. The moon rises, the stars wheel overhead. The world tilts slowly. You are part of that dance, part of that rhythm. And in trusting it, you come home. So release the urge to pause the world. Let it keep turning. Release the impulse to solve everything tonight. Let it unfold. Trust the impermanence. It is not chaos. It is choreography. Peace is not stillness in the external world. It is the stillness in you that watches the world move and whispers, yes, this too is right. So rest in that knowing. The rhythm will continue. The river will carry you. And all you must do is breathe. Sleep too is a kind of surrender. Not a collapse, but a return. Each night, we release the world, our plans, our names, our stories. We lie down, close our eyes, and let go of being someone. And yet, we wake. We rise again. Not because we held on, but because we let go. Sleep teaches us what the Dharma whispers. Release is not the end. It is renewal. You do not have to fear the letting go. It's not a falling into darkness. It's a falling into trust. The body knows this. The breath knows. The mind, too, can learn. Tonight, let sleep be your practice. A soft bow to impermanence. A gentle act of faith. You've carried so much today. Ideas, emotions, effort. But now none of it needs to be held. Let your body teach you. Notice how it's already settling. How your limbs grow heavier. How your eyes begin to close without instruction. This is your nature. To rest, to return, to begin again tomorrow lighter than before. The Buddha often reminded us, even clinging to good things causes suffering. So we don't just let go of pain, we let go of grasping. Even now, let go of trying to sleep. Let go of achieving peace. Just lie here, breathing, being. Sleep will come, not as a reward, but as a companion. A soft hand reaching out in darkness saying, "You've done enough." And you have. Let those words echo, "You've done enough." You don't need to carry today any further. You don't need to prepare for tomorrow now. Both will come and go, as they always do. But this moment, this breath, it is yours. Sacred, sufficient. Imagine now that sleep is not something you chase, but something that rises beneath you like water under a floating boat. You do not need to try to float. You only need to allow yourself to be held. Let the ground support you. Let gravity take your weight. You are safe. You are allowed to rest. You are not abandoning anything. You are returning to simplicity, to softness, to the rhythm of life that never forces, only flows. Inhale, exhale. Let the boundary between wakefulness and dreaming blur. Let the thoughts grow soft and shapeless. Let even your identity drift like mist. You do not need to be you right now. Just a body breathing, a spirit floating, a heart at ease. Sleep is a little death and a little rebirth. Each night we dissolve. Each morning we emerge. So welcome this small ending as a sacred part of life. The more gently you release, the more deeply you are received. So fall, not down, but inward, not into emptiness, but into peace. Let your final thought tonight be not a question, but a sigh, a soft whisper that says, "Yes, I can rest now." You do not need to hold anything. Let go. Sleep as surrender, and wake as new. There's a cradle we forget, the one we're always held in but rarely notice. It is the present moment, soft and open, without demands, without pressure. It doesn't ask where you've been. It doesn't wonder where you're going. It simply says, "You're here now." That is enough. Tonight, let this moment cradle you, not like a destination, but like a returning. Each breath is part of the cradle. Each beat of your heart, each blink of your awareness. You don't have to reach forward anymore. Not right now. You can let the future rest. Let the past dissolve. Let the now hold you like the arms of a quiet evening. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future." Concentrate the mind on the present moment, not as a command, but as an offering. Because in the present, nothing is missing. Nothing is too much. There's no story to maintain, no mask to wear, no need to explain your tiredness. Only this breath, this body, this hush. You may think, "But I have so much to figure out." That's okay. Let that live outside this moment. Right now, you don't need answers. You only need arrival. Feel into your body again, where it touches the bed, where warmth gathers, where tension is starting to release. That is the cradle. That is the now. Let your awareness rest there. Not pulled, not pushed, just gently placed, like a child in a mother's arms. Safe, without need. The present doesn't ask for performance. It only invites presence. You might have things unresolved, loose ends, unspoken feelings, but the present isn't asking for solutions. It's asking for your company, so stay, not because you're trapped, but because you are home. You don't need to retreat from now. It is already soft enough. Let your thoughts slow like a lullaby without words. Let your breath deepen like a tide without urgency. Let your attention become spacious like a night sky without edges. This is the cradle of the present. It rocks you without motion. It holds you without conditions. You might sense time loosening, not rushing past, not dragging on, just unfolding gently, silently. Each second, holding a kind of peace you didn't notice before. The kind that doesn't change your life, but changes how you rest inside it. Let the mind rest now, not on a plan, but on a pause. Let the heart rest, not on a memory, but on this breath. Let the spirit rest, not in a belief, but in being. Everything is enough, right here, right now. The cradle is not a place. It is a way of seeing. And tonight you are seeing clearly. So lie here, held, cradled, complete. Let the moment rock you into deeper stillness. And trust, you are not waiting for peace. You are already in it. The wind moves through pine trees at night in a way that few people ever notice. It doesn't roar. It doesn't demand. It whispers. And yet it leaves a trace, a hush, a sigh, a moment of deep stillness after it passes. This is how peace moves too. It doesn't force. It doesn't arrive with fanfare. It comes like wind through pine, soft, steady, barely asking for your attention, but offering itself fully if you're quiet enough to receive it. Tonight, let yourself become that pine tree, rooted, open, able to feel without needing to control. The Buddha did not promise a life without wind. He promised that we could learn how to stand through it and how to sway with it without breaking. Sometimes we look for peace as if it were a possession, something to get, something to keep. But peace is not a thing. It's a movement, a presence that passes through you when you stop resisting what is. Take a moment now to feel, is there something in you clenching, a worry, a memory, a hope trying too hard? Let the breath move through that space, like wind through needles, like air through an open window. No force, no fixing, just gentle motion. You don't have to make peace happen. You only have to stop chasing something else. Imagine a small forest at night, the moon above, the pines still and tall. A breeze passes through, and for just a moment, everything breathes together. You can feel that now. As you breathe in, receive. As you breathe out, release. No past, no future, just this moving stillness. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw release. Let your fingers uncurl. There's nothing you need to hold. Peace is not a prize for perfection. It is the natural response of a being who has stopped trying to control the wind. Let yourself be that being tonight. Feel your body as rooted, not heavy, but stable, not stuck, but grounded. Let the sounds of the room, the feelings in your chest, the rhythm of your breath, all move through you like breeze. No judgment, no interruption, just awareness. If thoughts come, you might imagine them as leaves rustling gently, then falling still. You don't have to silence them. Just let them join the rhythm. This is the stillness the Buddha pointed to, not a frozen mind, but a mind in harmony. A mind that doesn't fight the world, but listens to it. A mind that hears the wind and smiles. Tonight, you are practicing that smile. Not the kind worn on the face, but the kind that lives in the chest, quiet, easy, unbothered. Let that smile rise. Let it spread gently through your body, over your heart, down to your belly, into your limbs. Not because everything is solved, not because life is perfect, but because just for now, you've stopped chasing the next thing, and that is enough. So rest here as the wind rests through pine. Present, alive, unhurried. The world is still moving, but you are no longer struggling against it. You are part of its motion, and in that motion, there is deep, quiet peace. Some stories stay with us longer than we expect. They're not loud. They don't always return in full scenes, but they echo in certain words in a passing face in the silence before sleep. And sometimes they hurt or simply linger without shape. Old stories. Tonight you might notice one rising in your mind. A memory, a regret, a chapter that felt unfinished. Let it come, but don't invite it to stay. Not everything that visits needs a room in your heart. The Buddha often spoke of memory as a shadow. It follows us, but it is not us. It bends with light. It fades with time. So if an old story rises, you don't need to relive it. You don't need to correct it. You don't need to carry it. You can simply see it and say, "You have no hold over me now." There is peace in that. Not the peace of forgetting, but the peace of no longer clinging. Sometimes we keep our old stories alive because they gave us meaning once, or because we never learned how to lay them down gently. But tonight, you can try. Take that old image, whatever it is, a face, a place, a word, and place it in your open hands. Then offer it to the breath. Let it be carried out with the exhale. Not pushed, not erased, just released. You are not what happened to you. You are not the person in that old scene. You are the one watching now, the one breathing, the one with the power to soften the echo. You don't have to fight the memory. Just stop feeding it. Let it become part of the background, like the hum of a distant fan. Present, but no longer commanding your focus. Feel how light your body becomes when you stop tightening around the past. Like a rope unknotted. Like hands finally open. Even the deepest stories fade, like ink left in the sun. What remains is not the pain, but the wisdom. The way your heart grew around the wound. The way your breath still flows through what once felt stuck. Tonight is not for resolving the past. It is for allowing it to rest. If a story rises again, you might say, "Thank you. I see you. But I live here now, in the breath, in the body, in this moment." Let that be your refuge. You do not need to carry every page. Not all stories belong in your hands tonight. Let some return to the wind. Let some dissolve into sleep. You are still whole even without retelling. You are still enough even if you stop remembering. And in that forgetting, there is kindness. The kind that says, not all things are meant to be kept. Some things are meant to pass. Let them pass. Like clouds, like smoke, like the last sentence of a book you've outgrown. And breathe, soft, present, free. There's a river that carries everything. Not just water, but leaves, petals, twigs, even forgotten dreams. And it never stops. It never holds. It simply moves. This is how time moves, how life flows, how the Dharma carries all things without clinging, without resisting. Tonight, you are invited to step into that river, not to wade against it, not to dam it, but to let it carry what you no longer need to hold. Imagine your worries, your memories, your old roles as small paper boats. One by one, place them gently on the water. No judgment, no explanation, just release. The Buddha spoke often of letting go. He didn't say we must let go violently. He showed us how to let go, like a hand opening, like a leaf falling, like a river moving. You don't have to force anything out. You only have to stop clutching. So ask yourself gently, what am I still holding on to? It could be small, a tightness in your jaw, a sentence someone said, a quiet fear about tomorrow. Let that too be a boat. Let it float. You are not abandoning these things. You're just giving them to the river. It knows the way. The current is not dangerous. It's ancient, wise, patient. Even if your thoughts return, even if you find yourself holding again, you can place them back on the water, again and again. This is the practice, not perfection, but soft returning. And as you release, feel your body respond, the way your chest opens, the way your shoulders rest more deeply, the way your hands unclench. This is not just metaphor. Your body believes you. Let your breath move like water now. In, out, smooth, unforced. There is peace in this rhythm, in this surrender. Let the river carry everything it touches. Let it wind through memory, through thought, through all the corners of your inner world. Not to wash them away, but to give them movement, to remind you that nothing is stuck. Nothing is truly held forever. Even pain moves when you stop anchoring it with thought. Let the river teach you how to love something, then let it pass. How to feel deeply without needing to freeze it in time. How to stay soft, even while the current turns. Some people say, I'm afraid to let go. What if it never comes back? But the deeper truth is, if it returns, it will be changed. If it doesn't, it was never meant to remain. And either way, you remain more free, more light, more open to what is. You are not the river. You are the one resting beside it, watching, listening, letting go. The boats drift out of you now, some fast, some slow, some hesitating then floating onward. And you do not chase them. You sit, you breathe, you smile. Everything that needs to leave will leave. Everything that needs to stay will stay. The river knows, and you are learning to trust it. A flower does not ask to last forever. It simply opens, and that is enough. It doesn't wonder, how long will I bloom? It doesn't measure itself against the sun. It doesn't fear the coming wind. It just unfolds petal by petal, moment by moment, into what it was always meant to be. Tonight, let yourself be like that flower, not striving, not holding, just allowing. Peace begins here, not in perfect stillness, not in some distant insight, but in the quiet willingness to bloom while you can in your own way, with your own light. The Buddha taught us about Dhammaniyamata, the natural law that governs all things. Flowers open, leaves fall, hearts heal, minds awaken, not by force, but through gentle unfolding. You are part of that rhythm. You may not always feel it. Some days the petals are closed tight. Other days, a storm brushes past. But even then, you are alive in the field of being. You are part of the garden, and like the flower, you are not asked to be more than you are. You are not asked to bloom perfectly, only to open to what is. Maybe there's something in you tonight that's just beginning to soften. A thought loosening its grip. A sadness becoming bearable. A breath that comes a little easier. That is blooming. No one else may see it, but it's real. Let your awareness be the sunlight. Let it fall gently on whatever is ready to open. You don't need to rush it. Nature never rushes. And yet everything gets done. You may feel fragile. You may think, I'm not strong enough for this. But even the flower is soft, and it still rises. It doesn't bloom because it's unbreakable. It blooms because it trusts the moment. Let that trust live in you tonight, in your breath, in your belly, in the quiet space behind your eyes. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly in the season you are meant to be in. Let that bring ease. Let that silence the noise inside. And if part of you resists, that's okay too. Some petals take longer to open. Some wait for warmer light. No need to force. Just wait with kindness. Sit beside yourself. You are already beautiful in your becoming. Inhale softly. Feel the breath open you. Exhale gently. Let something soften. This is the heart of the Dharma, not to become anything else, but to remember what you already are. A being capable of openness, of presence, of peace. Let the flower within you rest in its own rhythm. Let it feel no shame for how it grows. Let it rejoice in simply being here. The field does not ask for perfection, only participation. So tonight, you are enough. Already. Even if you're still closing, even if you're only half open, the willingness to be here is already a kind of bloom. And in that, you are held, gently, lovingly, like a flower in evening light. Still water reflects the moon, not because it tries, but because it is still, not agitated, not stirred by wind or grasping, simply present, simply quiet. And in that quietness, a reflection appears perfect and whole, yet untouched by the water itself. This is how truth arises in your heart, not by effort, not by searching, but by stillness. The Buddha once said, "When the mind is still, the truth shines clearly, like moonlight on a calm pond, like peace on a heart that has stopped striving." Tonight, you are invited to become that still water, not by force, not by silencing everything around you, but by resting. Let the ripples of the day settle. Let the mind slow its spinning. Let the breath be your surface, smooth, open, receptive. The moon in many teachings symbolizes awakened awareness, not something far away, but something always shining, always there, even behind clouds. And like the pond, you don't need to reach the moon. You only need to become still enough to reflect it. Take a slow breath. Let the body grow heavy. Let the muscles release their holding. You are not required to chase anything. You are here to receive. Feel into your chest, beneath the thoughts, beneath the hopes. There is space. That space is the pond. And when it is quiet, your deepest truths rise into view. Maybe not in words, maybe not in sudden insight, but in a quiet knowing. You are whole. You are held. You are part of something vast and kind. Even if the mind stirs again, thoughts rising, memories rippling, you don't need to stop them. Just wait. Let them pass. Like wind that does not stay. The water knows how to return to stillness. So does your mind. Trust that. Let the image of the moon settle in your heart. Round, unmoving, reflected in your own stillness. You might say quietly to yourself, "There is peace in me deeper than all waves." Repeat it softly like a prayer. There is peace in me deeper than all waves. Even if you can't feel it now, the words will lead you back, like a path across water, like light on the surface. You don't need to understand everything. The pond doesn't ask the moon for meaning. It simply opens to receive. So let yourself open. Let yourself reflect. Let yourself rest. Nothing to hold, nothing to become. Only this calm, only this moment, only this reflection of what was always within you. Stillness is not escape. It's not detachment. It's connection to what is real beneath the noise. So breathe and watch the water clear. Watch the light return. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are a mirror ready again to reflect the truth. And the truth is simple. Peace is here when you are still. There is a kind of peace that arises when no one is watching, when there is no need to perform, no need to explain, no need to prove, just presence, just being. Tonight that peace is yours. You've stepped out of the noise, out of the roles, out of the expectations that press in from the world. And now in this quiet space, you are allowed to simply exist. No spotlight, no audience, only you and the hush of now. The Buddha understood this well. He spent many years in solitude, not in loneliness, but in communion with silence. There he saw the truth. We are not defined by how others see us. We are defined by how deeply we are willing to be with ourselves. So ask gently tonight, can you be with yourself when there is no applause, no recognition? Can you rest in your own presence, like the moon rests in the sky, silent, undemanding, and yet fully radiant? You don't need to be anything here. Not wise, not composed, not accomplished. You only need to be real, and real is enough. In this moment, you are not your roles, not the parent, not the partner, not the professional, not the seeker. You are simply a breath, a heartbeat, a spirit alive in the night. Feel how light that is, how spacious, how relieving, to not have to carry an image, to not have to wear a name. There is freedom in anonymity, not in being unseen by others, but in being seen clearly by yourself. Let that sight emerge now. Look inward, not for flaw, but for truth. Who are you when nothing is asked of you? Feel into the answer. Not with thoughts, but with breath. You might find only silence, stillness, a vastness that cannot be defined. And that's not emptiness. That's depth. That's what remains when everything else is stripped away. And it's beautiful. So often, we seek connection through being seen, through validation, through being needed. But tonight you connect by resting into the self that needs no witness, that rests in its own knowing, that whispers, I am here. And that is enough. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to impress silence. You are already welcome. This is not isolation. This is return to your core, to your breath, to the center of your own quiet presence. Let that be your home tonight. Not a place, but a state of being. Unwatched, unmeasured, unconditionally whole. Breathe into that space. Let the outside world fade. There will be time again for showing up, for doing, for engaging, but not now. Now is for the self that simply is. Let that be enough. Let that be everything. Peace arises when no one is watching, because you finally remember you were never meant to perform. You were meant to be. Rest does not come from chasing it. It comes from allowing it to find you, like a cat curling at your feet, like a breeze drifting through an open window. You do not need to run after stillness. You only need to stop running. Tonight, let go of the chase, the reaching, the trying. You've done enough. Now is not the time for striving. Now is the time for settling. The Buddha once said, contentment is the greatest wealth, not in having everything, but in wanting nothing more than this. This breath, this body, this moment. So gently let yourself rest, not because you've earned it, but because rest is your birthright. You may have spent the day searching for answers, for approval, for control, but the deepest rest comes when you stop searching and simply sit with what is already here. Let your breath be your guide again, not sharp, not shallow, but long and slow and wide. Feel the exhale like a soft falling, like a leaf finding the ground, like your whole self being placed gently into the arms of now. You are not being lazy. You are not giving up. You are learning the sacred art of doing nothing, of releasing the need to improve, fix, solve, achieve. Not forever, just for now, just for this quiet hour between the end of day and the beginning of sleep. Even the Buddha rested. Even the earth sleeps. There is no shame in surrendering to the quiet rhythm of restoration. If your thoughts stir again, if your mind tries to solve something, you can whisper to it, "Not now." We are resting, and return to the breath, to the space between thoughts, to the steady beat of your own presence. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are simply tired. And that is human. That is holy. Let go of expectations now, of being better, more peaceful, more enlightened. Let go of the story that you need to do more to be enough. You are enough now, even in your undoneness, even in your imperfection, especially there. Let your limbs grow heavy. Let your spine soften. Let your face smooth out. You are safe. You are home. You do not need to chase rest. It is already arriving, softly, surely, like the tide returning to shore, like the night deepening around you. Let it cover you. Let it soothe. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. You are allowed fully to stop, to close the door, to turn off the lamp, to lie down and be held by the vast quiet that has waited for you all along. This is peace, not found by effort, but by letting go. So let go, and let rest come. What you leave behind is not what you held. It's what you allowed to pass through you, not the objects, not the titles, not even the accomplishments, but the kindness, the patience, the quiet love you gave when no one was watching. We often think our value lives in what we keep, in what we gather, own, or defend. But the Dharma gently shifts our gaze. The Buddha once said, "Just as a candle lights other candles and loses nothing, so too does one who gives." What you release with a generous heart becomes the truest part of you. And what you let go of often says more about you than what you grasp. Tonight you are invited to feel that truth. Not as philosophy, but as rest. Because holding on is heavy. Holding on to identities, to timelines, to pain, to control. Even holding on to who you think you must be. Let it fall away. Let the breath clear space inside you. You don't need to fill every part of yourself with meaning. Some parts are meant to stay open. Some are meant to echo. There is grace in absence. There is presence in letting go. Think for a moment not of what you've kept, but of what you've set down. The weight you no longer carry. The anger that dissolved. The story you stopped retelling. Each of these is a kind of gift, not just for you, but for the world. Because when you stop grasping, you begin offering. You become more spacious, more gentle, more real. And the world feels that. Even now, as you rest, you are giving something back. Your softness, your stillness, your willingness to be at peace. No one may see it, no one may name it. But it ripples outward like fragrance from an unseen flower. You don't need to shape your legacy. You are already leaving it with every breath you release, every grasp you loosen, every time you choose peace over performance. Let that settle into your chest. You are not made of what you hold. You are made of what you are willing to release, even this day, even this moment. Let it go now as gently as you can. Say quietly within, "I leave behind the need to be anything other than here," and rest. Let the body soften completely. Let the breath slow even more. You are not holding the world. You never had to. It continues without your effort. And in that truth, there is so much freedom. You are allowed to leave behind what no longer belongs to you. Stories, wounds, roles. They've done their work. Now you can return to what is simpler. What is yours? This breath, this silence, this peace. What you leave behind will not be what you forced. It will be what you released with tenderness. Let go, and let that be your gift. Pebbles in a stream don't polish themselves. They simply remain carried gently by the water, turned over, brushed by silt, touched by time. And slowly, without effort, without resistance, they become smooth. Tonight you are like one of those pebbles, still shaped by the gentle movement of life, still being softened by experience, still becoming something simple and whole. There is no rush in this process, no pressure. The Buddha never asked us to arrive quickly. He only asked us to remain awake, to stay with the current, with the breath, with the truth of this moment. That is what transforms you. Not intensity, not striving, but presence. Let that image flow through you as small stone resting at the bottom of a shallow stream. Water flows around it, not trying to change it, just touching, just passing. This is how peace works. It doesn't force its way in. It arrives through repeated contact, through your willingness to stay present even when the water is cold, even when the current is slow. Can you feel that stream within you? Your breath rising and falling. The thoughts drifting like leaves. The sensations changing moment by moment. Nothing stays, and yet you remain, softening. Let yourself be that pebble tonight, not resisting the movement of the day, but letting it pass over you. Let the thoughts be water. Let the memories be silt. Let your body be still held gently in the stream of now. You are not here to manage the river. You are here to rest within it. Feel how the stream has shaped you, not all at once, but little by little. A hard edge softened, a judgment dissolved, a fear less loud than before. This is transformation, not as a spectacle, but as quiet change. Let go of needing to see it happen. The pebble does not know it's becoming smooth. It simply allows. Let your awareness become like water, soft, persistent healing. Let it flow over the parts of you that are still rough. Let it wrap around the places that still ache. You don't need to do anything. Just let yourself be touched. The Dharma works like this: subtle, invisible, and enduring. One breath, one pause, one night of rest, and slowly you shine. Not because you've perfected yourself, but because you've stopped resisting what is. And in that stillness, in that gentleness, you've become something sacred. Let that be enough tonight. Let the river do its work. You have already done yours by showing up, by staying present, by being willing to soften. So rest now. The stream will continue. The breath will carry on. And you will wake tomorrow just a little smoother, a little lighter, a little more yourself, like a pebble polished by time. Not everything needs remembering. Some moments are meant to pass, like wind through tall grass, felt heard but never held. And that too is peace. We often think that memory is a form of love, that if we forget, we lose something sacred. But the Buddha showed us that clinging even to memory can bind the heart. Letting go does not mean forgetting entirely. It means loosening the grip, allowing what has faded to stay faded, honoring what no longer visits. Tonight, you are invited to practice gentle forgetting, not because the past was wrong, but because your heart deserves space to breathe. Close your eyes and feel into your mind. Is there a moment that keeps returning, even when you don't ask it to a conversation? A face. A time when something went unfinished. Let it rise only for a moment. And then, let it float. Like mist. Like smoke. Like a memory that no longer needs to stay. You don't need to press it down. You only need to stop chasing it The mind will always try to make sense of things. It wants to organize, to revisit, to protect. But the heart knows when it's time to rest. You can say softly to yourself, now, I allow myself to forget. Not in rejection, not in shame, but in deep compassion. Some pain only heals when we stop retelling it. Some stories lose their sting when we stop repeating them. This is not denial, it's mercy. Mercy for yourself. Mercy for the moment. Let your breath guide you again. In, out. Feel how even memory follows this rhythm, arising, fading, leaving room for the next moment. And this moment right here, it is clear. It is enough. It does not require anything more than your presence. Let the past be what it was. Let the self you once were rest in peace. You do not owe anyone your remembering. You do not need to keep the story alive if your soul is asking for silence. There's a kind of wisdom in forgetting, a quiet power in saying, this doesn't define me anymore. And what remains after the forgetting? Peace, space, a field of possibility uncluttered by yesterday. Even nature forgets. The tree lets go of its leaves each fall. The river does not remember the drop that passed a mile before. The moon rises and does not mourn the night before. So you can let go too. Let this moment be the one that softens the grip. The one where you give yourself permission to stop remembering what no longer serves. What you need to keep will stay. What needs to fade will return to silence. Let that silence hold you now. Let it cradle your thoughts until they grow quiet. Let it sweep through the corners of your mind and make space for dreams to enter. You do not need to remember everything. You only need to remain open. The heart knows what to carry and what to release. So breathe and let forgetting be its own form of grace. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of stillness. It is what remains when you are no longer pulled in every direction. When your attention returns home to this breath, to this moment, to this gentle rhythm of being. Tonight, silence is your refuge, not a void, not emptiness, but a fullness that needs no explanation. You may have noticed, as we've journeyed together through these words, how silence has slowly expanded between the thoughts, beneath the breath, inside your chest. That silence is sacred. It is not passive. It listens, it holds, it heals. The Buddha often sat in silence, not because there was nothing to say, but because truth often speaks loudest when we are quiet enough to hear it. Let your body become still now, if it hasn't already. Let your thoughts drift like birds finding their perch. Let your breath soften even more, a whisper of movement, barely felt, but deeply known. In this silence, you are not asked to solve anything. You are not expected to feel a certain way. You are only asked to listen, gently, lovingly, to yourself. Maybe a feeling is rising. Maybe nothing is rising. Both are welcome. Both belong. Because silence does not require meaning. It allows what is just as it is. You might begin to notice the subtle world, the way your chest expands and falls, the quiet hum beneath the quiet, the presence of your own attention like a soft lamp turned inward. There's a term in Buddhist thought, samatha tranquility. It isn't something to grasp. It arises naturally when the waves settle, when the surface clears, when you stop stirring the water. And here, in this silence, samatha begins to bloom. Not because you made it happen, but because you stopped trying. Let that stillness wrap around you now. Like a shawl, like night air. You are not required to say anything. You are not required to name this. Just rest in the space that silence creates. Sometimes The mind may interrupt. A stray worry, a flicker of doubt. That's okay. Silence does not break. It welcomes return. Like the sky welcomes a drifting cloud. So return now, again and again to this softness. Let the silence become a companion, not distant, but close. Like a friend who simply sits beside you, saying nothing and saying everything. You may feel like you've come far tonight, or like you've barely moved. But in silence, all journeys are measured not in distance but in depth. And you have gone deep. So allow this silence to be your landing, your cradle, your temple. Let it bless you. Let it empty you. Let it remind you you are already whole. Without noise, without proof, without even words. The silence knows who you are. Let it hold you until the morning comes. Let it stay with you long after this voice fades. And if the world grows loud again tomorrow, you'll know this stillness lives in you. Always waiting, always here, just beneath the breath, just behind the noise, eternal, unshaken, home. Have you ever watched the way a candle flickers just before it settles into steady flame? That soft waver, that gentle dance is not uncertainty. It is part of the becoming, just like you. Your heart may still sway a little. Your thoughts may still drift. But the light is steady underneath. Tonight you are learning to stay with that light, not to force it, not to protect it too tightly, but to trust that even the flicker is a part of the peace. So many people misunderstand calm. They think it means perfection. No thoughts, no emotion, no sound. But real calm makes space for all of it, like a quiet room that welcomes a storm to pass through its windows. You are that room, spacious, gentle, unshaken. Let that image stay with you, now not as something to reach for, but as something to remember. You've always had this space in you, even on days when it felt buried, even in seasons when the world outside was loud. The candle never stopped burning. The light was always there, sometimes small, sometimes bold, but always quietly yours. Let tonight be the time you stop trying to fix the flame. Let it flicker if it must. Let it shine if it can. Just stay with it. Breathe with it. Let the breath feed it. Let the stillness shield it. There is a beauty in fragile things that persist. And you, in all your tenderness, in all your humanness, are beautiful. Because you stayed. You came here, you listened, you breathed. You allowed yourself to soften, to shed some armor, to open a little more than yesterday. And that's more than enough. If tears have come tonight, let them stay. They are part of the flame. If you feel nothing at all, that's okay too. The flame burns, whether it is seen or not. Let that remind you of your worth. It is not measured in how bright you are tonight. It is measured in your willingness to be with whatever arises. Softly, kindly, present. Let the breath flow again, in and out. No push, no pull. Just the candlelight of your being swaying quietly in the dark. And around it, nothing to do, nothing to change. Only space, only warmth, only peace that no one can give you and no one can take away. You have come this far. You have stayed this long. Now stay a little longer with your flame, with your breath, with the quiet gift of simply being. You don't have to light the whole world. Just stay lit within yourself. That is enough. That is everything. There is a moment just before sleep when the edges of thought blur, when time no longer follows rules, when you are not quite awake and not quite gone. This moment is soft, sacred, like a door that opens only once each night, quietly, slowly. And tonight, as you approach it, you carry with you not burdens, but breath, not urgency, but but peace. Let the body prepare itself. Let the hands unclench. Let the jaw loosen. Let the space between your eyebrows smooth like calm water. You have arrived at the threshold of surrender. And surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means returning, allowing, trusting that the current knows where to take you. In Buddhist practice, there's a word prapti arrival. Not arrival in the world, but in the present. In the moment where all resistance fades. Where nothing is added or removed. You're close to that now. So close. Feel how the breath becomes lighter. As though the body knows you are stepping into deeper rest. And if your mind still whispers, still loops, that's okay. Thoughts do not need to stop for rest to begin. You only need to stop following them. Let them float, like lanterns on a quiet river. Watch them drift out of view one by one. Some will carry stories. Some will carry questions. Let them all pass. You're not here to solve. You're here to soften. To return to that place beneath names, beneath plans, beneath everything. The Buddha described this as the unconditioned space untouched by birth or death, gain or loss. We glimpse it not in grand revelations, but in the hush between one breath and the next. Let yourself fall into that hush right now. Nothing more is needed. This is the gentlest letting go, like leaves returning to earth, like petals closing at dusk. The day can rest now, and so can you. You may feel warmth rise in your chest. You may feel coolness in your fingers. You may feel nothing at all. It is all welcome. There is no wrong way to rest, no wrong way to be here. You are simply arriving, fully, quietly. There's nowhere to go. You are already there. Let your breath anchor you to this gentle descent, in and out. Feel the weight of the body, not as heaviness, but as grounding. The earth holds you. The night cradles you. Your own being sings lullabies in silence. This is what it means to be home. Not a place, but a return. So stay. Sink deeper. Let go layer by layer, until even the words dissolve, until only the breath remains, and then only silence. Sleep does not come when summoned. It arrives when invited. And tonight, you've prepared the space well, with stillness, with breath, with a heart that is slowly opened to quiet. You do not need to wait anymore. Sleep is already near. Feel how close it sits beside your shoulder, just behind your final breath out, like a gentle friend waiting patiently. You've done everything you needed to do. You listened. You softened. You stayed. That in itself is a kind of awakening. Not the kind that stirs you, but the kind that lets you lay everything down. The thinking, the striving, even the remembering. There's nothing left to carry. Not even this voice. Just this breath. And the next. And even that will fade soon into the wide, tender quiet of sleep. If thoughts still try to reach you, you can greet them gently. Not now, dear ones. Now we rest. And they will listen because they are tired too. Everything wants to rest. The body that moved through your day. The mind that held so many shapes. The heart that has loved and let go. Let them all be held now by this moment, by this space, by this peace that asks nothing of you but your presence. The Buddha once told a monk, even if you only lie down mindfully, you are cultivating the path. So now lying here in this quiet room, you are still walking the way of rest, the way of release, the way that leads you back to what you've always been still, whole, at peace. You may feel the breath drift farther now, as if it belongs to something greater, as if you are no longer breathing, but being breathed. That's the door. You are stepping through, not into darkness, but into warmth, into the soft folds of the night that holds you like a child. There is no need for language here, only silence, only trust. Sleep will take care of everything now. And you will dissolve gently into its arms. When you wake, you may not remember this moment, but it will remember you. The peace you touch tonight will remain in your bones. It will shape your morning. It will echo through your day, and it will wait for you again when the sun goes down. So let yourself go. Let the flame grow dim. Let the breath become a whisper, and rest fully, deeply. You are home. Now everything slows. Even the breath feels softer like a breeze through open curtains. Even the mind no longer stirs, but floats gentle unbound. You've journeyed far tonight, not in distance, but inward, through valleys of memory, across rivers of thought, into the still forest where the self simply is. And now, you are here, wrapped in a quiet that asks nothing, a quiet that welcomes you just as you are. Let it hold you. Let it rock you. The teachings, the breath, the silence, they are all still with you, but softer now, like faint stars above a sleeping world. You do not need to hold on to them. They will remain. Their work is complete for tonight. You are safe. You are enough. You are loved in this quiet, in this stillness, in this sleep that now waits with open arms. Let the edges of thought blur. Let the stories fall away. Let only peace remain. The kind of peace that doesn't need to be understood, only felt, only trusted, only breathed. So let go now, the way clouds let go of rain, the way night lets go of time. There's no more to do, no more to become. Everything is sufficient now. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a peaceful night.